Hi, and welcome back to the Spruce Grove Public Library's YouTube channel. We are called SGPL Library Kids, so do look us up and don't forget to subscribe to us. Well, today we are reading our Read Aloud book for the month of March, and this is what we are reading today. It is part of a series called Jasmine Taguchi, and this particular one is the first one in the series, which is Mochi Queen. So we have picked this one because, if you don't already know, March is our food-themed virtual reading club for kids. So everything to do with it is food-themed, so it's kind of a fun theme this month. So we have, every month we have 4 books we pick, and we also do crafts, activities and baking recipes, which are super cool. So if you haven't already checked that out, go on sgpl.ca, our homepage, and then you can find our virtual reading clubs from there, and then you can find out more about that. So we have already read a few chapters, so we're going to continue with chapter 4 today. So let's get started. So this is called Oba-chan's Gift. And the next day, it was time to pick up Oba-chan from the airport. Sophie and I ran around the house shouting for joy. Mom ran around the house too. She fluffed the couch pillows 4 times. She straightened the painting over the fireplace twice. She dusted the vase Oba-chan brought the last time she visited. And Sophie and I went into the bedroom where Oba-chan always stayed. Sophie left a note on the nightstand, and on the pillow I put a collage of birds that I had made. Oba-chan loved birds. Right in the centre of the collage was my very favourite bird in the whole world, a flamingo. Someday I hoped I could have a pet flamingo. Mom shooed us out of the room and then out of the house. She never let us go with Dad to the airport. She said we were out of control. Sophie went to her best friend's house and I stayed at Mrs. Reese's. Mrs. Reese put a big plate of brownies in front of me. Your favourite, she said. No nuts. I took only one. Mum said I always had to use my manners, especially when I was a guest. Mrs. Reese baked the best brownies, so it was never hard to gobble up all of them. She never ate any brownies, not that I ever saw. Maybe she made them special just for me. How go the preparations? She asked. Okay, I said after I swallowed a big chocolatey bite. My grandma comes today. We call her Oba-chan. I sounded it out for Mrs. Reese. Oba-chan. She and Mum will probably clean the house more. I didn't understand why they spent so much time cleaning when everything would just get dirty again. You must be happy to see your grandma, Mrs. Reese said. I know I'm excited about seeing my grandson when I visit my daughter tomorrow. Mrs. Reese's daughter lived in Los Angeles. That's why she moved here from Vermont. I wondered if someday Oba-chan might move here. That would be great. Where is your grandma coming from? Mrs. Reese asked. Hiroshima. It's a city in Japan. She comes every year and stays for a whole month. So if you look on here, they've actually got a picture with a little map, and you can see where Hiroshima is in Japan. And on this side, there's a picture of California. So there we go. You said your other relatives stay too. When do they get here? Mrs. Reese asked. Me and cousin Eddie would come tomorrow. He and his parents live in San Francisco, and it takes them 8 hours to drive here. They would stay overnight at our house. I didn't want to think about me and cousin Eddie. The rest of the family, with my nice cousins, lives near us in Los Angeles, and that's what I look forward to. Tomorrow and the day after, I answered. In 2 days, everyone except for me and my 4-year-old cousins would be making mochi. I had to get my arms ready. Do you have any wood that needs chopping? I asked. Mrs. Reese's forehead crinkled. It was the same look Mom did when I asked something she thought was strange. Probably a bit like that. Or maybe hammering. Do you have anything that needed to be hammered? I glanced around the kitchen. The cabinets looked fine. Too bad. The shed needs painting, Mrs. Reese said slowly, like she was thinking of not telling me. I jumped up, cookie crumbs flying. I'll do it. Well, it's a job that will take some time, and I know your parents will be home soon with your grandma. I sank back into the kitchen chair. I felt like a balloon with a hole in it. My, Mrs. Reese said with a smile. You sure want to help out. I'll tell you what, you can help me paint the shed after the holidays on a weekend. Oh, I didn't want to help after Mochitsuki. It would be no use to work out my arms afterwards. Besides, painting sounded boring. Fortunately, before I had to answer, my parents' car pulled into our driveway. Thank you for the brownies. I'll see you later, I said, dashing out the door to greet Oba-chan. When I got back to the house, Sophie wasn't home yet. For once, I had Oba-chan to myself. I flung myself at her as she stepped out of the car. She smelt like a pine forest. She laughed and patted my cheek, and I leaned forward to look at Oba-chan. Her short silver hair was like a fluffy cloud around her head. She smiled at me, her brown eyes crinkling, and my insides felt warm and sweet, like Mrs. Reese's brownies. Dad carried Oba-chan's luggage into the house. She had a lot of stuff. I hoped somewhere in there was a gift for me, but I knew better than to ask. I followed Oba-chan to the guest room. Very nice, she said when she saw my collage on her pillow. And she unpacked her clothes one by one: black pants, grey pants, a dark blue dress, a white blouse, a grey sweater, some clothes she hung in the closet, others she folded and put in the dresser, and she brought out a pretty blue and white and grey kimono that she would wear on New Year's Day. It was my favourite outfit of hers, and I sat on a chair and tried to be patient. After unpacking a million clothes, she turned to me with a package wrapped in red and white cloth. My heart did a happy dance. "For you, Mr. Chan," Oba-chan said, calling me by my Japanese middle name. I made a proper bow, and I thanked her. "Arigato, Oba-chan," and I almost snatched the gift out of her hands, but I remembered my manners, and I took it slowly. I untied the gold string, and the cloth fell away from the box. I lifted the lid. Under the gold tissue paper was a white apron decorated with pink cherry blossoms. I pulled it from the box and held it up. It was so pretty. It looked like Mum's special mochi apron, except hers was red with white cherry blossoms. And I ran over to the mirror on the closet and draped the apron over my head. It hung to my knees and gaped at my neck. It was a little big, but I didn't care. I had a special mochi apron. "Wowie zowie, I love it, Oba-chan," and my smile was so big that my cheeks hurt. "Save for when you help with mochi-suki," she said. My smile slumped into a frown. More waiting. I was tired of waiting. "I'm going to help this year," I announced. Oba-chan's eyes clouded over. "You're too young. Last year I wanted to decorate the house for Mum's birthday, but I thought I was too little. Oba-chan told me I was big enough. We worked together and didn't tell anyone. We were a team, and Oba-chan was always on my side. But I'm ready to help," I said. "I'm going to pound mochi." Oba-chan gasped. "You, young lady? That job for men?" I shook my head. "It doesn't matter," I said, trying to use a respectful tone that Mum had taught me. "I'm just as tough as the boys. Girls no pound mochi. It kisuko. That the rule. That was a silly rule for when Oba-chan was little, probably. Walnuts. Everything had rules. It wasn't fair. I shouldn't have told Oba-chan. I didn't want to wait 2 more years. I didn't want to roll mochi. I wanted to pound mochi." I ran out of the room, leaving the apron behind. And that is the end of our chapter for today. So thanks for joining us. I'm Sarah, the Children's Librarian here at the Spruce Grove Public Library. So do come join us for our virtual reading club, because we have new material every single month. So we have lots of fun stuff to do. And as I said, if you haven't already done so, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, SGPL Library Kids. Thank you for joining us for Virtual Storytime this week. If you enjoyed this story, come and visit us in person at the library, give us a call or message us, and we will help you find more books, movies, video games, TV series, and so many more programs and services that we can offer you, all for the small price of a library card, which of course is free. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, SGPL Library Kids. So thank you once again, and bye-bye.